Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to Rise Up After Dark. Indeed, it is a good now, it is a good evening, it is a good morning whenever you listen, wherever you are. Thanks for being here. It is August 27th. This is the 46th episode of After Dark in its current format.
Whoa.
I can't believe it. And I've got
Wow.
Will Watson here hanging out with me. How you doing, Will?
I mean, currently in shock that we've done 46 Wednesday night episodes now.
I know. And After Dark was like, at one time, it was the new show we were doing. And now it feels just like it's part of the programming.
I don't know. Still feels new to me. Time's weird, man.
Time. What a social construct, man. It's weird.
It's crazy.
There's no Alex tonight for our friends back home. Alex is at a baseball game, in fact. So cheering on the team.
Hey, man.
Wishes he could be here. But since he's not, he sends his love.
I am a big fan of this.
You laughing at Alex's hand, man?
No, I was laughing at the hey. You just have a hey from Alex clipped?
Hey, man.
It's a hey, man.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, man.
Hey, man. Hey, man. And
this is a gross misrepresentation of the facts.
Which doesn't exist on that soundboard.
I don't know. We've got a lot of stuff on the soundboard, and this seems like a good time to remind you very quickly that we like to play a little game here with our guests on Rise Up After Dark. Every time you hear this sound, it means somebody speaking or somebody in the audience, somebody somewhere in the world has received a point for something they've said or done. And every time you hear this sound, it means somebody has lost a point for something they've said or done. And if we determine at the end of the night that somebody has achieved enough arbitrary points, then somebody in our listening audience will win a prize. It'll be fabulous. But speaking of things that are fabulous, I think it's time to bring in our guest. Tonight's guest is easy to describe succinctly, but I want to get into the story of how I met them after they come up. Maximal Margin is a research engineer, a generative AI artist, and somebody I alluded to the TikTokers in the backstage audience who is working at the bleeding edge of tech and really the bleeding edge of humanity and where they intersect. So we're going to have a really good conversation tonight. Please welcome to the show our friend, Maximal Margin. Thank you for being here tonight. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Ian. Hi, William. I'm well. How are you?
Doing
good.
For the folks who may be unfamiliar with your work, do you want to take a minute to introduce yourself in your own words?
Yeah, I think you probably already did a better job than I would have. I primarily work as a research engineer. I train AI models, but also I'm very passionate about art. And I think as a lot of you would probably agree, AI is reshaping our society very rapidly. And I think it is also a period of anxiety and unrest whenever something this big comes around. And I think in times of this, art has the job to kind of ask the important questions and basically is leading society in a way in asking what this means for us, for creativity, for humanity. So that's why I'm also exploring how to express and poke some of these ideas with art.
Something I often say to people who are curious or concerned, but really not using AI is that any technology at its best could draw us into a deeper understanding of ourselves, of others, and what it means to be human. And I think your work does that really well.
Thank you.
Then that also begs the question and the concern that so many people have also, and Maximal Margin, I'd love to get your thoughts on this as someone on the front lines. Is generative AI being used to create art? Is it removing the humanity from a human expression of the creation of art because you are using an AI assistant to help you generate the art? So I'd be curious to get your thoughts and opinion on that take as well.
I think it probably depends on how you use the AI. I think when people hear AI art, the first thing that jumps to mind is probably just ask a image generation model like, oh, make...
Yep, that's exactly what popped in my head.
Yeah, but I think AI, the term itself is kind of all over the place, but it can be a software, a piece of code, it can be some mathematical patterns. So I think when I refer to myself as generative AI artist, I think more broadly, not just like prompting the image model to do edits, or although that could be interesting too. I think I refer to like a broader range of using AI, either as I guess if once we show my work, it's like a little cheeky use of the AI products that other companies also put out, or other people put out. And I think you can basically do collages or use traditional artistic discipline methods to create more art that I think broadens the definition of AI art, that to me means more than just prompting the model. So I think it could be more broader, but the question still remains, like, who has the agency? And I think it all depends on whether like what the artist trying to do, whether it's trying to create a visual or whether they're trying to ask a particular question.
So would you view it in I may or may not be interpreting this correctly, but this is the metaphor that I was thinking of, is would you view it almost as these are just new types of brushes and palettes or charcoals or pieces of paper, like the materials needed to paint or to sculpt? This is just simply a new tool enabling more people to become artists. Is that how you would potentially interpret this, with these tools being more mathematical and ones and zeros kind of based for people who think like that but can express themselves more freely? Would you say that? Because that's how I was interpreting what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's level 1, but also level 2, like, except your charcoals can talk, right? Your charcoal and
nice.
paper can,
Oh my God, it'd be
I don't know,
terrifying.
float
Like,
itself.
what's in my water?
Exactly. So I think it does have some like surprising elements to it, and it can have to some extent like agency. But I think that is, people are still, even I feel in AI research, is still actively pursuing and exploring. Yeah.
I think that would be a good time to, before we get too much further, bring in your artistry. And I want to invite people who are listening in the future, hello, hope your candles are green, to play along with us by heading to maximalmargin.com. And when you get there, if you're not there yet, what you'll see is a sort of collage of these different artistic experiences. And Maximal Margin, I have got the whole thing at my fingertips. So is there somewhere particular you'd like me to drive to, or even if it's not on the website, a way you'd like to start introducing the art you make to people as that intersection?
Yeah, so this little cheeky phrase, I guess, l'expérience vécue is lived experience in French. And it started because I am obviously a woman in the tech industry, and I have a lot of these little experiences that are kind of, people probably have talked about it, but I feel like I want to express it in a slightly different way. So this, all my art is kind of like a little bit math, a little bit code, and a little bit maybe something about being women, being feminine, and thinking what it means in today's age. That one is just, I love David Lynch. That one is just random.
David Lynch forever.
Yeah, that one is, this is a tangent, but since we're here, I'll explain this little piece as well. So this is, I don't know if people remember, during the lockdown, David Lynch was recording a weather report in LA every single day, I think for a couple of years. And so when that got me through the pandemic, for some reason, I just find that very comforting. And then when he passed away, I was very, very sad. So I trained a little model based on Lynch, some of the weather report scripts. And then it basically goes to pull the weather from LA automatically every day, and tweets around I think in the morning, 8 a.m. or some particular time.
And then we have David Lynch.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Nice.
this reminds me of Archelect. There's an artist I like called Pack who did something different but similar. The idea of taking a persona and implanting it into an algorithm that people could interact with in this way.
Yes.
How very cool.
Yeah. So it's not forever. We ran it for a bit, and then it's kind of like, okay, I think that's good. That's good enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I tell a quick story about what we were doing backstage and then how we met?
Yeah. Go for it.
So backstage, when Maximal Margin got here, I was trying to be helpful and concise and explaining how the show works because it's her first time here. And we want her to have a great experience, asking, what can we make sure to highlight? What do we make sure not to highlight? Oh, and one more thing. Oh, and this and oh, and that. And it just reminded me of how during the permissionless conference, folks who listen to the show know I was in New York recently, earlier this summer, to attend permissionless in Brooklyn, and had the chance to reunite with a parasocial friend of mine who's become a real life friend, an artist named Andrew Hopfner. He hosts a space called Gymnopedie. And if you just shake an 8-ball in your mind and imagine like a Brooklyn art mega mosaic in the basement of a church from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. with a punk band and mobile tattoo artists and short story readings and a room full of television monitors, white and chocolate cake, you'll get about the vibe that we were going for. It's the kind of collection of people that you could only attract by happenstance and serendipity. And one of them was Maximal Margin, who was in this room of TV monitors that Andrew had curated and happened to find it the perfect space to showcase one of these art pieces that we'll get into. But the art piece is called Men Explain Things to Me. And
that's why you brought that up. Okay.
About how you're on a podcast with a couple of dudes who, before we started had to explain things to you. And now I have to explain this story. So could you please, Maximal Margin, explain to these guys, Men Explain Things to Me?
Yes, maybe it'll be helpful. I don't know if you still have the tab up.
I've got it.
Yeah. Yes. So a couple of things. So first, I guess Men Explain Things to Me. So this was a little book or maybe an essay in the beginning by, I want to say, Rebecca Solon. Let me just make sure quickly.
Sure.
Yes, Rebecca Sonnet. And then she basically wrote this essay and coined the term mansplaining because I think she was at a party and she wrote this book, and the guest, who is a man, is like trying to explain this thing on a particular subject of which she is the expert and author of. And that is an experience that I sometimes have at work, and also especially when I attend conferences, I guess, because just based on how I look, people tend to make certain assumptions and explain certain things to me and in a way that's very funny. And depending on my mood, sometimes I just choose violence and just like casually drop something that's very obviously makes them realize that I'm the expert in the field. Or sometimes I'm just like not feeling it. I just like leave and smile politely. So that is kind of this experience that I often have, and I sort of want to poke fun at it a little bit. And I basically this has always been just on my mind. I wanted to do a piece, but I haven't really found the right opportunity until when this product called Notebook LM. I don't know if people have tried it. It's a AI product released by Google. It went viral. The idea is you can upload a piece of text and the AI can generate a podcast, what they call is AI overview. I think if you want to go to notebook.com, you can by Google.
I will put it in the show notes.
Okay.
If you want to go there and navigate it, we can. But I was kind of hoping we would maybe
Yeah.
play through one or two of these audit. Don't feel like we need to go there now.
Yeah. Okay. So I can finish the explanation. So that basically generates an audio overview, which is a podcast. And then by default, the podcast always have two speakers, at least in the beginning. And it's always a man and a female voice, a man and a woman voice. And then I think it's supposed to keep the conversation balanced. And then I also assume that they randomize the role, like if you generate a transcript and then like have assign one speaker to one gender or one podcast host. So it's like sensible design. It works pretty well, but it gets funny when you upload, like when you challenge this assumption, like why is it always a man and a woman talking? Why can't it be two women, or why can't it be two men, right? Or like, I don't know, this podcast, the configuration. But I think technology makes these kind of assumptions, and I wanted to poke fun at these assumptions. So I found the perfect text, this essay, men explain things to me, and I upload it to the product, and voila, it generates a podcast. And so here are some clips if you want to play some of the clips. And yeah.
So this, clarify for me before I hit play, is this, what does the prompt for this look like that outputs, say, audio 1 right here that I'm looking at? Is this the prompt itself, or was it?
No, there is no prompt. I just uploaded entire essay. And explain things to me, and then the product, you just hit a button and say generate audio overview, and it would generate a podcast. And then this is a clip, like a cut from that generated audio.
Man, that audio one sounds like me. So you're ready to dive into a topic that's, well, let's just say definitely got people talking. Move down a little bit. He's explaining with such confidence, you almost wouldn't guess he might actually have no clue what he's talking about. I'm just like,
Maximal Margin, it looks like, am I on the wrong page? I can't seem to.
Oh, no, you need to click to the demo page, and this is just an image. Can you go down?
Let's go down. Yeah,
and then click here. Yes.
Let's do that, because I really want people to be able to, and pardon me, there might be echo. I did not test the audio playback first, but we should all be able to hear this. Let me know in the comments if you get this.
Okay, so are you ready to dive into a topic that's, well, let's just say it's definitely got people talking.
It sure has.
It's mansplaining. You know, the thing where often it's a guy, right? He's explaining something,
Right.
but he's doing it with such confidence. You almost wouldn't guess that he might actually have no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah, the confidence is key.
Oh my gosh. And so it goes on and on. It's a whole conversation. And is there one in particular that really demonstrates that? I mean, that's a good vibe of like, the man is dominating the conversation. The woman is, getting a word in edgewise. But isn't there are a couple I feel like where he interrupts or cuts her off?
Yeah. So first few was from this essay, and then I started playing. I put Simone de Beauvoir, Second Sex, and then A Room of One's Own. I think, you can choose. I don't really have favorites.
Simone de Beauvoir is The Second Sex.
Yeah.
Published back in 1949.
1949.
And this wasn't just another book.
No.
It was like a cultural earthquake, right?
So total game changer.
It set the whole modern feminist movement on fire.
It did.
But de Beauvoir, she doesn't stop there, does she? She also takes aim at literature and cultural representations to show how they perpetuate these myths about women.
It's so on top. And a highlight for me was we were talking together and you were explaining this to me, and it was on those TVs. And you said, do you want to make one with me right now? Will you explain something to me? And I was just like, I was so thrilled to be part of this because it was really fun. And I said, I have the perfect thing. I said, can I explain cryptocurrency to you? What's a more bro-y thing than that?
What's more bro-y?
Yeah.
I appreciated that you are a good sport about it. I felt like I've showed this to people, and then like some men get really offended, and then actually start explaining things to me. And then I was like, you don't realize the irony of this. Like the fact that you're offended and start explaining this to me just makes this piece a lot better.
Yeah, it's like, no, keep going. You're proving this all right.
Yes.
Yeah, and it really was so cool. I've got just a quick screen share of the visual walking into this like church basement adventure art space, and in the corner there's this, you know, hallway room with all these television monitors, and to see this on them and to be able to interact with it, it really was such like a cool part of the ambiance. And where else in the world could you have gotten something like that? So, you know, thank you for being so willing to share it there and here. And I'm curious to know, what are you working on now? And let me invite our audience, if you've got a question for Maximal Margin, whether that be a question about art, about generative AI, or the intersection of the two, then let us know and we'll be glad to share it. But Maximal Margin, what's next for you? What are you working on right now?
I don't know. I guess before I go into that, I wanted to add a little bit to the monitor story.
Of course.
Because I thought that was super funny too. Because I didn't plan to put it on the monitors. I had I got invited to show this. I brought my own computer, and I thought it would be like a little presentation. But I showed up there. It was a great space, and I was just walking around, and I saw these monitors, and I was like, "Wow, this is really cool." This reminds me of the South Korean artist Namjoon Park. He is famous for using, I think, a lot of monitors and video art and installation art, and I was very much inspired by a lot of his work. So I saw these monitors, and I was like, maybe I can turn them on. And then you know that meme that like just keeps getting better and better meme. And so like turns out I can turn them on, and then turns out there is a computer there that was already linked and you can project. And it turns out my art was already on the internet, so I can just like go visit it. And so that's just like how it all came into being. And I was so excited that everything just works. And I think that is kind of the serendipity of, I don't know, Brooklyn or Bushwick, or just that magic thing that just kept happening. So I felt like I was very happy to have found also a physical medium or form factor for that particular piece of art. So that was super interesting. And then, yeah, I guess that's the backstory.
How would you say you typically find inspiration for an art piece that you do?
Yeah.
If there even is a typical way.
I don't know. I think that's a good question. For research, I can brainstorm and talk to my collaborators. But for art, I feel like maybe similar. I just have to go see a lot of art. And then sometimes like, oh, I feel inspired. Oh, okay. Now talking about that reminds me of a project that I wanted to do. So the other day I was walking in West Village. I walked into this bookstore. I think it's bookstore of photography. There was a Marc Jacobs book. I don't know if people know the bookstore I was talking about. But anyway, I went in, there was an art book. I'm kind of searching for inspirations these days because I don't have a thing that I want to work on. So I went there. There was this photography book, or maybe self-portrait book, about by an artist. And I think that inspired me to want to do something like a self-portrait. But with people's own chat logs to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever your favorite AI companion is. And the idea is to do a collage that resembles self-portrait that the traditional painters do. But each data point is a visualization, but each data point is a chat history, or maybe some words extracted from the history from you and the AI. And the idea is that it is a new form of personal profile or self reflection of like you as who you are, in that your words and the words you output and the words you consume, and then like how that context is the entirety of you, basically.
Yeah, how interesting. I think that would be really cool. There was a trend, you have probably seen it, but for folks who are in our listening audience who may not have seen it, where you ask your favorite text-based generative AI, work partner, Claude or GPT, to use what it knows about you to create a picture of you.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
What do you think about some of the images? Do you have any?
I got to do that.
I think it's It's interesting. I forgot I did that, and I forgot I put in some personalization system instructions, and maybe that's also a project I want to do. So the idea is, for these AI assistants, you can put a custom personalization system instruction, like for it to always know how to respond, to make it more personalized. You can say like, oh, I like, I don't know, French new wave movie. I like electronic music. So when I ask for music recommendations or movie recommendations, that doesn't always recommend me something that's irrelevant. So I forgot I had something put in there. And then I said, well, now generate this image. And I generate this image. I was like, how do you know? And then I realized that, oh, I actually put it all in the system instruction. It was kind of dumb. But yeah, it was very interesting. And I think that is part of what inspired me for this idea that I was talking about, of self-portrait, because there's so much you can learn about a person based on their chat history. And it is also kind of continue towards, I think, the 2000s. There was an ad in maybe around 2000 by Google. There was an ad for just like the entire ad is like someone is searching on Google to find flights, to find chocolate, and then it becomes obvious that he was trying to surprise his girlfriend or something. And so I think that, and then sometimes we're like very embarrassed to let others to see our search history, kind of that. Yeah. So I think it's like people's digital footprint, but also these chats, they're your inner thoughts, like the things that you don't tell other people, and that creates interesting question about privacy, about safety, about your like understanding of self, the know yourself, know thyself kind of a thing. So I think self-portrait, all of that is super interesting. I need to like think about exactly how to present that, but I think that would be something that I'd be excited to explore.
On that same similar topic, it's, you know, like our browsers, it's just purely ourselves, no filter. It's just us looking for information, and we treat ChatGPT the same way. But all that ends up just sitting on a server, and it's more likely to one day, you know, get out. And earlier,
end up in the training data, but
yeah.
Also.
But earlier today, so I also work in corporate America as a supply chain consultant, and we were on an internal call. And someone in our company goes, all right, cool. And hits like the record, the AI like note taker. I forget which one we were using. But then our VP of like engineering hopped on and goes, no, guys, we're talking about like one of our own products and the latest developments. Like this is going to sit somewhere on a cloud that we can't control. And it's like information that we need to protect. And then you just heard them go like, oh. And then he was like, how many times? You could tell he didn't ask the question yet. Where he was like, how many times have you used this for internal conversation? He was just like, oh my God, we're so screwed. Never mind. Everyone just please stop. Please stop. Oh my God, there goes our IP. And it's just like how many companies and like government officials have just like let so much information go and sit on these very vulnerable servers.
Well, wasn't there a Meta AI release where everyone thought it was private, but it was by default public, and then people were like saying all kinds of weird stuff?
Yes.
I think it was their searches were made public, and you could like look them up or filter through them, and it wasn't necessarily that you could identify who, you know, it wasn't like Evan Man from Memphis did this one, but it would be, you know, like my voice talking into GPT being like, I just keep telling my wife that I don't know how to give her what she, you know what I mean? Like very like sensitive personal stuff. It was wild. Okay. So let me ask you that too, because the questions in the comments have largely been around, you know, can I get an AI to do this, Mr. Robot Steckler, a friend of ours said, my AI knows so much. Could I get it to go to work for me and replace me? And I had the experience I shared on our show recently, because we create content around our public identities. Will does, Alex, our colleague, and I do it. We have thousands of hours of voice, of face, you know, this room. And recently I had the experience where, because we talk about cryptocurrency especially, we have a lot of impersonators all over the internet who will attempt to leverage the trust we've built to send someone a comment, a direct message, and phish them. And one of these pig butchering scammers had for the first time created a really compelling clone of my voice, which is
It was really good.
It's not that hard to do, you know, but I am aware that that's going to become a bigger and bigger thing. So can you speak for a minute, you know, from your perspective, helping to train these models or working around people who do that? Can you speak some sense to the things you feel concerned about and the things you feel optimistic about when it comes to access or privacy and those kind of issues?
Oh wow, that's a really good and difficult question.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. And let me start with the easy one. I think just like automating your job, or automating parts of it. I think that is definitely happening. There's some recent research papers showing like entry-level jobs are probably exposed the most. There's some empirical evidence that these entry-level jobs are actually being impacted by AI quite a bit. And then I think that is a source of anxiety for a lot of people. And I don't know a good answer to that, but I think long-term wise, it will balance out. But short-term wise, it might be painful, especially for people who are maybe slow or on different like progress bars in adopting these AI tools.
Yeah.
And I think for the safety angle, there is a giant community of AI researchers very worried about safety. I think that's where alignment and EA comes in quite a lot. People are working on it, although I think just the speed at which the AI models improve, and also like we need to think about a lot of issues in terms of, I think aligning humans is difficult, because like if you can align humans on what you want the models to do, then it's relatively easy to like train your model to do it. I think we have enough technical things to tweak to be able to align, like to steer the model towards certain directions. But I think the issue right now is humans don't align. Like we don't align on how the model should behave, how the AI should behave. And then you have different companies and have different safety kind of behaviors or grades of the model. So I think that is more of a societal issue that's like a philosophical, political issue rather than a technical issue alone, at least. And I don't know if I can answer that in a couple minutes for sure.
Sure. I don't expect you to. I would be curious to know if you have any recommendations where people who are interested in, do you feel like those people who are concerned about it or people that you would consider experts are easy to access? Are they often portrayed in the media? Are there sources we should look to? And you know, what would you recommend for somebody who's curious or concerned and wants to learn more to become more informed or participate in the dialogue?
I think that's also a tough one. I feel a lot of it is very much closed ecosystems these days, because especially with the frontier models, I think people are relatively close-lipped about how they're thinking about it. But I think there is still a lot of very valuable discourse on by the academic community or research community in general. And then, yeah, I think a lot of it is happening on internet, and you just have to kind of go and try to figure out who are the right people to follow, in a sense.
Who do you follow?
Yeah.
Who do you follow? Journals or Twitter accounts or newspapers or anything?
I follow archive a lot. Just like whatever papers are being published. I think you can read the frontier blogs quite a lot. Yeah, I think Anthropic is very good at writing a lot of these really interesting things. And then people, I think, have a lot of discussion on X still. So you can kind of figure out who to follow. But it's so opinionated, and I think who you follow, we can draw up a giant list, but it's very personal, and it's very
Well, I guess for a lot of people who are listening, they may feel that they, are not. Sometimes we see this when people are learning, a new skill set, especially in cryptocurrency. It happens, and I imagine it happens a lot in AI too. I just, we don't have as much experience there. That it's so new, and there's so much of it already.
Yeah,
you don't even know which questions to ask when you start. You ask whatever questions occur to you, but they are usually not the questions that get you what you're actually seeking, is what I find. And now, like, as somebody who has this conversation a lot with people, I know that when someone asks, for example, how do I trade cryptocurrency? They don't really want to spend their time being a day trader. They just have heard that some people make money using cryptocurrency. And then I can orient them towards, like, well, first you must become a safe, confident cryptocurrency user. Here are some skills you should have before you invest in anything, or else it will be a liability to you. And you may not even wish to invest. You know what I mean? Like, so it's tough to get people. I don't know. I guess as amateurs, Will is less of an amateur than me, but I always just recommend that people start to use it, become curious through use.
Yes.
However it's easiest.
Yes, I think that is true. And also just who wrote about this? I think Shopify CEO Toby wrote something around like asking or mandating all the employees to start using AI.
He leaked
and then Karparthi, Andre Karparthi has always like a lot of really good videos. I think one of it is like how I use language models, or how I use LLM is more approachable from for a general audience. He shared a lot of tips, and his accounts, like he's the person who coined, I guess, vibe coding. So he has lots of really good content, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. But I think it's a lot of it is a mindset switch rather than like a particular trick you want to do. I think the people I know who are most successful at adopting these technologies is mostly just playing. They don't take it too seriously, and they're just like, I don't know, maybe this will work. Like it's like, it's a very experimental technology still, and I think it's that mindset of like, okay, traditionally I do things this way, and maybe let me just try asking the AI model and see what it comes up with. And sometimes I think more often than not, you're pleasantly surprised. But also I think there is this, like, people need to, not necessarily need to, like, people who are more open and flexible to change and the cliche growth mindset, I think will have a better time. Just because you're not particularly tied in your old way of doing things, and not necessarily think like your old way is superior in certain ways, and are open to like adopt a different method of working or experimenting or producing. And I think the key thing is this tool is undeterministic. So a lot of people are very uncomfortable with the undeterminism. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think that is very hard for some people to grapple with, that uncertainty. Like people like using a thing, even if it's like strictly worse, but it's reliable. Like if this thing gets my thing done, maybe at like a okay-ish level, but it works every single time, I think a lot of people would prefer that than if sometimes this gets it done, sometimes it just fails miserably, which I believe is what the AI today still is, unfortunately. So like, but people who are more open to that and like more casual about it, or maybe like will spend time verify it, may have a better time, just because like, oh, let me try, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They don't necessarily get too frustrated when it doesn't. They try again, and then they try again in a few months. Maybe some things that didn't used to work now work. And it's all play. I think it reminds me of being a kid quite a bit, and that's why I enjoy working in this area, because it's just like you try again, and sometimes it works. It just works.
How would you recommend then? Because most people, and I feel like this is also myself in this category, will use a ChatGPT or insert name of other type of AI tool that most people are interacting with as a search engine, right? I feel like that's how most people are using it.
Search engine? Can you say
Yeah,
more?
like just using it for Google. You know, you take your question, you put it into ChatGPT, it goes, it searches through the page 1, page 2, page 3 of Google for you and provides you the information, right?
10 best vegan restaurants in Brooklyn nearest my destination.
Yeah,
right?
boom, 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 boom. Or or any kind of question. I feel like that's where most users are. So I'd be curious. You sound surprised by that, which is interesting. But I've also seen other articles of people saying that's how they use it a lot. So I think this is a great question for you, because my question to you is, with most people just using it right now as a search engine, what would be like the next thing you would recommend to somebody who's doing that to experiment with and use these tools for?
Good question.
Yeah, very good question. Yeah. I guess I think of it as more as most people use it for information needs rather than search, because I think of search as a very particular, very precise thing. But I think it makes sense. Kind of general users, when they see a text box, everything is a chat now. Like I imagine they will be like inputting chat-like things into search bars, and then it doesn't work and get frustrated. But to get back to your question, I think I've been brainstorming and maybe like think about this idea that normal people, or like people who used to not think about management, now need to think about management skills, because everyone basically just leveled up, because you have these little minions now. Like before, maybe you're like an IC individual contributor and you're like have to do everything yourself. But now with these tools, you have reports, and you have a lot of them, and you can make them too, because you can just describe something or workflow and put that into a .md file, and that's a little employee, that's an agent. I think that's why agentic AI is such a big deal this year.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people aren't like the idea of management just doesn't feel natural, I think. Like
And Maximal, when you say management, can you just provide a little bit more context or color to what you would consider to be management?
Yeah. I think delegating parts your life. Do you have a thing that you're trying to do later today or tomorrow? I don't know, just random things like that.
Sure. Yeah. But getting good at communicating rather than thinking of it. I'm seeing this in the form of people are outsourcing critical thinking and like tasking. And I'd be curious to know, I'm hearing more and more about, I don't know how empirical it is, reports that critical thinking, short-term memory are being affected as people outsource those kinds of things to GPT, and that we need to think more about how we can preserve that, especially for people who will maybe never know a world without it.
Yeah. I think there's also like personal preferences there. The reason I was fishing for a concrete task is to sort of make it more concrete.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were speaking hypothetically, really, truly. I apologize.
No,
What are you doing tomorrow? She totally railroaded the conversation. I have mansplained.
You did it. I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need a concrete example. You asked what he was doing.
Well, it's like so I was just trying to think of like something. So like I'm big into working out, right? And I have been through just like, I think I've accidentally made like a dietitian and personal trainer in my ChatGPT because I've just asked certain things, and I've taken screenshots. Like I monitor my macros every day, my weight, all that, and I've taken screenshots of that and I put it into my ChatGPT, and then it just will be like, it will give me coaching now. And I'm just like, oh, this is nice. I accidentally made it. I had no idea what I was doing. I just started asking ChatGPT questions, and eventually it just became super knowledgeable.
Yeah. I think that's a great example. It's like you have a not necessarily a task, you have a goal. I think goal-oriented thinking instead of task-oriented thinking. You have a goal, you want to work out presumably because you want to get fit or healthy or whatever. And then this goal can be broken down into particular areas of tasks. And then that can be broken down to specific tasks or workflows. And I think your job now is to think what your goal is, and how you can break that down into different areas of expertise. So sort of like this task decomposition, like you need how many employees you need, and that's for me is kind of like management decision, because you need to set the strategy. You need to set the goal, and then now you need to set, okay, I need to hire this like 3 people to do this, and then once you have that, you can basically like very easily build 3 little minions, and then you can ask this minion to do things, and ask the other minion for like, I don't know, workout sets, and ask this other minion to pick your like outfits and do your shopping for you.
Nice, I gotcha.
Yeah, it is this orchestration that I think, but you can also kind of meta outsource this orchestration to an AI, but it needs to be a more powerful AI. Like needs to have like all this thinking and bells and whistles and stuff. So it gets meta very quick, but like it's up to us, each of us, I think, to decide which part of that critical thinking or you still want to do for yourself, or maybe like you don't like doing critical thinking, you like doing the execution, then you remain like you keep the execution for yourself. So I still like writing, especially for really important things. I like a psycho, just like type without ChatGPT or whatever AI tools.
Yeah, well, there'll definitely be some degradation of critical thinking and writing skills, because people are inherently lazy, and getting a quick answer from something that becomes more reliable over time will just be too tempting, and we'll have just less and less practice at doing it ourselves. And I mean, like, I've experienced that. I'm sure everyone has experienced it also, just with texting. Like my spelling is worse now because I just type something real quick, and I just have faith that my phone is going to autocorrect it to what I meant, and my spelling is worse totally. So it'll happen, and it's going to be important to just keep practicing those skills on your own on the side, just every now and again.
I think it's interesting though to have this analogy with maps, like map apps. Like I think before navigation and London cab taxi drivers were such a big deal, they are able to drive everywhere, and then with the navigation systems, I think that people definitely, like a lot of people lose that skill, but people are going to more places because of the navigation system.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily like a regression, but I feel like people are doing more things.
Sure, the same way that PhD math nerds are able to use calculators to outsource some math to do more math.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah, but also you have people who are just like lost and can't navigate like 3 blocks. So
sure. It bridges a sort of gap between people who cannot and people who can competently, and allows those who can very competently maybe to succeed at a higher level. Everybody's bar gets raised.
Yeah.
But I think what you pardon me. I think what you say is interesting about a minute ago, the attitude. I often think how the choice we will be presented with is one where some people will not want to embrace like the cyborg androidization of humanity. Everybody's got a phone in their hand, and it may not be part of my biological body, but it's no less an extension of me. My GPT or my Claude, the way I use it and rely on it is no less a part of my tool set than a paintbrush. And increasingly, those things and digital things will become a bigger and bigger part of the way we live, some of us. And I think there will probably be, it seems like a dual reaction. Some people will hyper accelerate, and some people will hyper resist, to the point that perhaps if their values are so far out of alignment that they stop to recognize each other as the same. I think, like you said, it's a values thing. And I'm not concerned about it. I'm hopeful about it. I'm optimistic about it. But I think that that's going to be a choice that people will increasingly have to reckon with in higher and higher stakes ways, in our lifetimes.
I feel like there is an art piece to be made about that. Just like
Well, I know you've got to run soon, and I'd be glad, Will, if you've got a quick question to throw it out there. If you've got a quick question or thought for Maximal Margin, yes, let us know. But otherwise, can you tell us, while we get those, where people can find you and what they can do to support your work in this next chapter?
I think I'm still very much in the early stages of exploration. So if you have ideas, or especially if you're artists, I'm very much excited to collaborate. And I guess you can follow me on Instagram and check out my art on my website.
And that's Instagram.com/maximal margin and maximalmargin.com, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Will, did you have a final question?
It wasn't a final question. It was just a comment, but it's a comment I can make anytime. So I wanted to make sure I didn't take into any of your, sending off final thoughts, Maximal Margin.
Yeah, then give us a final thought for the audience before you leave tonight.
Oh, me or Will?
Yes, you, our honored guest.
I was like, me?
Get the hell out of here,
Will. Get the hell out of here, Will. I tried not to mansplain.
I don't know. I think mostly just like a note to myself, note to everyone. This is a crazy time. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of excitement. Maybe it's like the best of times is the worst of times. So just keep playing, keep learning, and keep having fun, hopefully, in this chaos.
Thank you very much. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, join me in thanking Maximal Margin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, nice, it was truly a pleasure. We'll catch up in our chat, and I will definitely refer folks to you. Maybe we can compile a list of links and resources for them and have you back on sometime. Sound good?
Thank you. Yeah, sounds great.
Thanks, Maximal.
Everybody, you're not going
Everybody.
Everybody, yeah. You got the Snack Street toys. Yeah. Harry and Gojira over here. Somebody said, Ripcord said, Will has the most legit mustache in social media. Come at me. And
so I definitely don't, but I appreciate it. It's thickening up for like the first time ever. I've actually really decided. I was like, no, I'm going to take some time. Like, how good of a mustache can I actually grow? Questions every man should find out and answer to, and I'm finding out now.
I agree completely, and I think you're doing great.
Thanks, man. I have two things I wanted to talk about. One was there was Christine made a great topic or a great question in the comment section where she mentioned when we were talking about like AI and the cyborgs and all that kind of stuff, and Christine in a very heartfelt message mentioned that she has a nonverbal son, and she hopes that the technology in the future can help her son. And as that message came in, at the same time, I was just thinking, I was like, I draw the line at putting a microchip in my head, because Evan, you just mentioned, the phone is cyborg-esque. All of these devices we're becoming cyborg-esque. It's just that these pieces which we carry with each other with ourselves just isn't in us yet to technically make us a cyborg, but it's on our person all the time. That made me think of microchips in your head, and I was like, I draw the line there, but I'm like, there is some good stuff that'll come out of that, because that's like the main purpose of, I forget what the name of Elon Musk's company is, but whether it's his company or somebody else's company that ends up doing it, of being able to let blind people see, being able to reconnect parts of your body if you were paralyzed, if your son or daughter or family member is nonverbal, finding ways to fix parts of the brain, because there's so many things that are wrong with your body that's a result of just like electrons not firing right, things not connecting to each other. I got a really close buddy who he's not narcoleptic, but he has like a very, very serious like sleeping disorder. And it's because like his neurons don't fire correctly. So like all of this is electrical. And like a chip in your head can actually fix it, right? And to me, it's terrifying. I feel like to most people, it's terrifying and horrifying. And I immediately go down like very dark thoughts. But there's like, just with everything, so many good things that could possibly come out of that technology as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of just like talk about that, because there's good and there's bad and there's scary and there's new and there's exciting. And it's just this bundle of unknown, and we'll see what it's all going to be like.
Man, thank you for bringing that up, because that's a really good story, and it's a really important conversation. I remember when people were talking about the metaverse in the crypto space as this screen strapped on your face place you would go. But in my mind, the metaverse that I got most excited about was that vision you describe of the future, where we have mapped the brain, we've got some way to interface with it, and in the future that enables children who can't walk will run in a metaverse, and I'll give you a phone call, but it won't be like this. It'll be on top of a mountain after my hike, and I'll say, you want to see this? And I don't know, I'll press a little button above my nipple, and you will smell the air that I can smell. You'll hear the of the birds, you'll see the pine trees, and there's a conceivable future where movies look a lot different. Adult entertainment will probably look a lot different and feel a lot different in a way that is indistinguishable from your own reality. The most interesting application I heard was for justice. Imagine if we had brain-computer interfaces, and instead of like hearing a lawyer tell you about what happened to, Trayvon Martin allegedly, if instead you will journey into his memory and hear the footsteps on the pavement behind you and feel what it's like for, George Zimmerman to be on top of your body and pressing the life out. I mean, that's going to change. I don't know. It'll be wonderful and terrible. And you're not going to get a chip in your brain because you're just a robot racist. I know you.
I will be the old robot racist. Like, I'm going to be that dude. Hey, dude. It's like some grandkid now. He'll be like, "Hey, Grandpa, meet my new girlfriend." And I'll be like, "You brought what? One of those kinds, huh? What nuts and bolts are you made out of?" I don't know. Whatever things are considered racist terms towards robots in the future.
I just really want to see like a future world where there's like a soap opera on the TV in the background of whatever else is actually happening, and it's you in a scene with like your daughter or son bringing home a robot for the first time, and you've got to like, you're no son of mine.
I've really enjoyed all of the like Clanker themed TikToks that have been going around. They've been so good. Oh, it's been great. Particularly, it's like a robot gets pulled over by the police, and it's just like, it's so good. And they're like dropping as if it's fake narcotics or illegal substances, and they're dropping like SIM cards and stuff. Oh, what are these? What is? Oh, illegal SIM cards, huh? Having a little good time, having a party or something. It's just like, and then they just beat the crap out of the robot, and like, it's great.
That stuff makes me it laugh, but it also makes me so sad at the same time. I feel so much empathy for the robots. Solom said about the imaginary future we might inherit where we can interface that way. Will, you'll be twisting your mustache on one side to scroll up the chat and the other side down.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I think that's a great feature.
Yeah. And I did have one other thing brought to us through the wonders of AI. I asked ChatGPT to make 2 images of me based on what it knew, and it's really, really, really close. And one is really funny. So let me share my screen real quick.
Let me see what we got. Here's a little.
So,
are we getting
here's the avatar.
That's pretty good.
And the best part about it is the dolphin pin.
Oh, snap.
It's the dolphin pin and then just like a pauldron of armor. It's
actually pretty good.
To be fair, it's had my picture at some point thrown in there. So like it definitely knew that I have like an armor tattoo or something on my arm. So like it did pretty good. But my personal favorite was I asked to make a realistic image as well. And it just created like the missing link or middle brother between myself and Josh Jake. It's just the brother between me and Josh Jake.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Surprise, you're both the father.
Surprise, you're both the father. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. But nobody replaces that guy for me.
Oh, thanks, man.
Okay,
his name would have to be some other like basic white person name.
Like Timothy Jack.
It's like John or
something like that.
Ross.
Suggestions for their love child in the chat would be welcome, and your crypto questions would be welcome. We are going to end a little bit early tonight because while I will not ride them, I've got to give some literal kittens a bath. But I saw in the comments some questions about Bitcoin, and Will, I know the other day we looked up the old liquidation heat map where you revealed to us that after the low targets are out of the way, the next highest targets, the biggest magnets of liquidity, are above us. Is that still the case? Are you still feeling pretty bullish after the NVIDIA news came out and the price?
Well, the interesting about the NVIDIA news is that usually usually, some news will come out that shakes up the stock market at the end of the day, and the stock market closes, right? So it doesn't have an opportunity to react. But typically, crypto will react along with what's happening in the post market. And right now, Bitcoin's at 0.12%. Like, it hasn't really moved much. There were some initial little sells, and then it came back up, and then it's just kind of staying the same, which is in line with the hedge funds being at record level of shorts on the VIX, which is a measurement of the expectation of volatility. So if they're shorting the VIX, that means they're not expecting much volatility at all across the markets. And the hedge funds are pretty good at making money.
I would say
it's kind of what they do. Pretty good at it. So, it seems like we may be getting that. And also the other thing too is markets are very forward looking. And I just made a video on this beforehand, but if you're just looking at Nvidia, and for those of you who, if you're just invested in cryptos, I'm mostly invested in cryptos, you care about Nvidia because they have 8% of the entire stock market in their market cap, which is crazy and totally safe. But so if Nvidia goes down, stock market goes down, crypto goes down, right? So that's why we care. But the reason why Nvidia dipped despite beating their revenue expectations is because they didn't sell a single dollar worth of their chips into the Chinese market because they're banned from doing so, or they were banned from doing so because of the trade war between the United States and China. However, that ban, which went in place in April, was lifted at the very beginning of August. So in Q2, they didn't sell anything because Q2 is April, May, and June. And so in Q3, July, you'd have no sales. Most of August, you'd have sales in China. And then September, you'll have sales in China too. So next quarter, guess what? Nvidia is going to have sales in China again. It's going to be limited, but take this into account. In Q2, Nvidia didn't sell a single dollar of their chips into the Chinese market, a massive market, and they still beat their revenue expectations. Like, because they absolutely crushed it on other parts of their business, particularly data centers. Just imagine how well Nvidia is going to do when they can sell into China again. And guess what? In the next earnings report, they'll be able to sell into them for almost 2 months. And then you're going to have some sort of trade deal with the United States and China and with Nvidia and the Trump administration. That's going to open up the doors again. So, the market is also forward looking and sees, okay, next quarter, Nvidia is going to have some sales in China, and they've been crushing it in the other sides of the business. They're probably going to beat their revenue expectations. In fact, they already raised their revenue forecast by like an extra $1 billion casually. So, I think you'll see a quick little dip in the market as a reaction of this, but then the market will just go, oh, okay, next quarter, things are probably going to be fine with Nvidia. And then there's going to be some news about an actual finalized trade deal between the US and China. And then things are going to be fine for however long this we just invest in AI thing continues.
Yeah. So not a reason to be concerned that Nvidia's price went down. And Cosmic mentioned something that you also have said. I don't know how you're going to debate about this when you guys keep agreeing on a lot of these points. The Russell 2000 is an indicator that we're feeling pretty good about risk on stuff. Said,
yeah, actually, I didn't look at it. I meant to today, but here's the thing. Dude, it's hilarious. I was scrolling through TikTok, and you see lives pop up every now and again, and then I scroll through, and there's Cosmic and Bullish Babe, who he goes on lives with every now and again, and as I go by, and I'm just like, oh, it's Cosmic. So I stop for 2 seconds. In that 2 seconds, he goes, he says something like, I don't know, I think his chin will take me down. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking about me. And then Bullish Babe says, no, Bullish Babe just goes right after, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he was like here watching us right now? And I was like, guys, I'm literally right here. and then they brought me up. I just said hi real quick. And then I had to run because the Nvidia earnings report came out. And, Cosmic and I were just like, kind of mentioned, like, I don't know what we're going to disagree on. We agree on most things. I was like, yeah, it's just going to be us kind of like hanging out. I don't know. We'll find some things to disagree on, I'm sure. Anyway, but yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Caveman's sending some questions to us and trying to figure out some things that we can actually debate. So Caveman, if you're watching, I got to get back to your message. I promise I will.
He'll get back to your message. He'll get back to his push-ups, to his mustache curls, and to his chin waxing. And that bout will be Thursday, the next. It's what, September?
Could you
4th?
imagine if I waxed my chin?
Yeah.
No, I come. It's just like my chin is just shining.
It's looking like Brian Armstrong's head.
Like the shield of Rohan with the sun glinting off of it as the Rohirrim rode to save, Gandalf in air. Oh my God, how am I forgetting? Oh my God, how the hell am I forgetting the name of the city? Oh my God. I'm having the biggest brain fart a nerd could ever possibly have and be embarrassed about because it'll be put onto the internet for forever.
I would love to see it, though. I would really love to see it. It's going to be...
Oh my God, I'm so disappointed in myself. I have so much Lord of the Rings paraphernalia here. Anyway, yeah, the debate will be Thursday.
We also have a couple questions here about some other crypto tokens that have had some activity today.
Save me from my failure.
No, not your failure, my friend.
I failed myself.
Failure is just pre-success at a higher and higher level all the time. Do you know anything about this Numeria, a blockchain-based hedge fund? That's a token that apparently has gone up. I'm not familiar with it.
Numeria?
Maybe it's Numerai or...
Oh, no, I don't know it.
AI.
Gondor. Dear God. Okay. Sorry. Gondor. Jesus.
Apparently, JP Morgan, in a Cointelegraph article, is backing hedge fund Numerai, spelled like Numerai, and that's the URL, numer.ai, with $500 million, fueling, they say, the crypto AI convergence. It's a Paul Tudor Jones-backed hedge fund powered by crowdsourced AI models, secured a $500 million commitment. And they said that they thought the chart had pumped, but it looks like this has been around since 2018, this token. Launched in 2017. Here's what happened. This is interesting. According to this article, since its inception in 2015, Numerai has expanded its assets under management to roughly 450 million, most of the growth in the last 3 years. In 2024, it delivered a net return of more than 25% through strategies combining crowdsourcing, AI, digital assets, and other quant-driven approaches. Not bad. The firm also operates its own cryptocurrency, Numenair, which was launched in 2017, I said. In July, Numerai began repurchasing NMR tokens, starting with $1 million. I would be curious to know if this was always their token or if they did a community takeover. Sometimes what will happen is somebody who wants to get into crypto will buy a majority of a token that's mostly dead and then take it over, give it a new life in order to inherit like an old record. Like, why would you want a bad old price chart? Well, so you can say we've been around since 2017. You haven't heard of us? We've been around since 2017. That a lot of people do it. I don't know that that's what they did, but it looks like after JP Morgan's announcement, they're a hedge fund. After JP Morgan's, they market their success and then hope people will buy their cryptocurrency token. I would be willing to bet that that's
the token for Numerai. So they're a crypto hedge fund. So the crypto hedge fund has a token, but what the hell is the purpose of the token?
I think the purpose of the token is entirely just as I said. I think it's a marketing thing. It doesn't appear to have any utility, and it looks like the announcement that JP Morgan was going to infuse this $500 million of capital is what caused the pump. But I brought up the screen share here on StreamYard, and I'm going to bring it up on TikTok too, just so you can see for historical context.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pump they're talking about when viewed on the all-time time frame. So it's a momentary thing caused by a temporary reaction to some bullish news. And that's, I don't know if you saw it, but I posted about it in the chat, what happened to CRO today. The company whose name escapes me, shout out to Joe, who sent me the article. There is a company that has announced it will become the first to buy, like, however many million CRO tokens to put them in a treasury, one of these digital asset treasuries we keep hearing about. It's the first to hold CRO. Crypto.com did a big press release about it. A bunch of people picked it up. And today, or in the last 24 hours, the CRO token for Crypto.com went from about 15 cents to just under 30 cents. And now I think it's sitting down. And so, and it happened fast. And I was like, oh my God. I made a video. I was like, if you hold CRO, you need to consider selling some right now.
Damn.
Because it's what goes up must come down, right, Will? And if it goes up fast, it usually
comes down fast.
Yeah. So permit me to share the CoinGecko chart on this one. I think these are both instances of a hype piece of news getting caught at the right time when people are looking for a bullish catalyst. Oh my God. Yeah, up 212.6% on the 3-month chart. Looking like, I mean, just
Damn.
But just with that one, I want to zoom out on this one too. Hang on, let me get this screen share. And for folks on the podcast, you know what I'm going to say. Come over to YouTube, check out the Rise Up After Dark playlist. We've got all the screen shares you love. This is the 3-month chart for CRO. But look at this. The all-time high chart is going to deceive some people into making a foolish decision. Okay, this is the max.
Which is, it'll go back up to the top. I won't sell anything.
That's exactly right. What happens, Will, with these people who get this price and see this price? What are they foolishly thinking? They won't sell anything?
Oh, hang on. I have a chart for this actually. Hold on.
Beautiful.
And
while he pulls it up, the reason I personally would say it's foolish is because in the last several years, look at what you've got. You haven't hit this in years. The odds that you're going to go back there, they're not that great to this almost $1 price, just because the longer something goes on like that, the more options there are for investors to put their money into.
All right, Evan, you ready for me to screen share?
I'm ready. Swap me and I'll get you. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is a classic Godzilla pattern.
Oh!
And so the thing is just like with CRO, you have the massive all-time high that creates your Godzilla monster, right? And then as you have future pumps, that's your Tokyo. And you have these future pumps, but the salty bag holders who have been holding there, in this case, CRO, for years and years and years, get blasted by the Godzilla nuclear screech, and it's their selling. They sell on the Tokyo City pump, and you're in a Tokyo City pump right now for CRO, and those salty bag holders are going and blast it. And now it's a question of whether or not the fighter jet and the tank, which are the buy orders, can defeat the monster Godzilla, aka salty bag holders. Usually doesn't happen though. So that's it. And this is also really fitting because I have my Godzilla shirt on right now, and that's that. So yeah, fantastic.
I hope somebody got a screenshot of that.
Also, that comes from our silly TA competition, and that was the winner also from last week. So I gave them $100 for that picture of Godzilla because I was like, God damn it, I'd give you more. But I said I'd only give $100 to the winner.
And I'd say you got $100 of value out of that TA lesson. That's
yeah.
Super.
Because honestly, that's real.
That's real.
That's real. That's really happening with CRO. It's going to be, it's very difficult for a coin like that to achieve all-time highs because you have salty bag holders from the past being like, oh my God, finally, CRO is close to where I bought it. Sell. So you need a lot of like really good fundamentals and a lot of really hardcore speculation on price, which maybe CRO has. We'll see.
Robert Steckler, who bought CRO at an average of 64 cents when it was at that big tall wick in the all-time high chart, said, damn you, Godzilla. If you're somebody like that who has been holding for a long time, the strategy, if I was playing with your chips, and tell me what you think on this, Will, is if I got a pump like that, I would sell a lot because CRO, it's not going anywhere, but it's shown that it likes to live at that like 8 to 15 cent mark.
Yeah, that lower level.
If I got a chance to unload, even at a loss, but a much higher than usual lately loss, I would take it, expecting it to go back down. And then the very next move in my playbook would be to redeploy that capital, if I believed in it still, into CRO to double my position or more.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't,
or
I'd need it to work somewhere else where there's more movement and I can move it back another way.
Yeah, exactly. Or take it to something that does this far more often, right? Great examples of that, Solana. XRP also. Does it have the fundamental adoption of Solana? No. Does it go like this and it's easy, air quote, to swing trade? Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
In movement in the market, volatility, that's what lets you get in for cheaper, get out for profit. That's the name of the game. That's it. So you can do it, Mr. Robot Steckler-ish. We also had a comment from Exit Velo who said, so with all these different coins up, could this be our altcoin season? What do you say, Will?
I mean, we've been in it for a while. we've been talking about, I mean, like we had the official break of, long-term support a week ago now at this point, week and a half ago or something like that. So like that is when we were in altcoin season. The real thing that's going to decide if this can really, really continue. From a TA standpoint, it looks like altcoin season can continue, but what's really going to drive it is, can Ethereum keep its hands on the steering wheel? Because right now, ETH is in a far stronger position than Bitcoin is right now. Just go and look at the charts. You don't even have to be an expert in TA to see that, right? So like, will the ETFs inflows keep up for Ethereum, right? I'm still looking at Ethereum to maybe have a little bit of a cool off over the next like week or so. It's in a bearish formation, which is an ascending wedge. It's basically just a triangle that like points upwards. Typically those break to the downside, not always, we'll see. But even if it cools down a tiny bit, I'm still expecting the ETFs to continue to go flying, because the ETFs for Ethereum have been outpacing Bitcoin by inflows of $600 million over the past 4 days. 4 days. So it's outpaced Bitcoin by $600 million. So the interest in the market is clearly in Ethereum right now. And I am of the belief that they are front-running the Ethereum ETFs staking being turned on.
You think so? And then when it gets turned on, that would be a sell the news event then.
It'd be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. But then at the same time, you're going to have everyone be like, wait, I bought Bitcoin because I wanted exposure to the cryptocurrency industry. You're telling me I can get exposure to the cryptocurrency industry and earn interest? Oh! And then they take their money and they throw it towards that.
Yeah, that would be... 'Tis a consummation devoutly to bewitched.
Yeah. And then Larry Fink is just there in the corner with his hood up going, yes, yes. He's the CEO of BlackRock, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, and if you don't know...
Now you do. And he looks just exactly like however I just described him. He looks exactly like that.
You don't want to meet him in a dark alley. He'll take your Bitcoin from your... Yeah.
And he'll be like, I must away.
I must away. What did somebody say? You were not on the show. It was me and Alex. And somebody in the comments, I think his name was 0x John. We were talking about just like stupid trends and like point farming. Alex was getting on one of his work. He was working up a lather. And it was the perfect time. Somebody was talking about yapping. And John said, and then Kaito came. Like that was the comment. And I heard it like an anime transition. I was like, then away. I must away.
I must away.
We had a question from Crypto Boat who said ETH is cheaper and uses less energy now, right?
Correct.
That is correct.
It does.
Simple. Yeah. Used to use a lot of energy.
Yeah, and it used to be super expensive.
Super expensive. What's the most you've ever paid for a gas fee?
I think about $300 or so.
Yeah, I think I've paid 3 figures, and some people have paid.
Oh, when you said that, I was like, I thought 4 figures. I was like, you spent.
No, some people have paid 4 figures for gas.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've seen those screenshots.
Yeah, back in the day, it was a wilder time. Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, people and creatures of all ages, tonight I have the distinct pleasure of needing to bathe 4 tiny kittens. So it's about that time.
Are you guys keeping the kittens?
I don't know, Will. I don't know. I cannot live with them because I am allergic to them. But
well, then you're not, or you die, right? So
I am making a sacrifice because their mother made the ultimate sacrifice. I can't believe I'm laughing when I said that. It's just the transition in my mind was funny. It's not funny. It's very sad, actually. But they need a bath. They need some dewormer. And, right now I just, we got to get them cleaned up and then make a decision about what we're going to do. So if you need
You're allergic. What do you mean?
Well, but I mean, we're not just going to throw them out.
No, you got to take them to shelter and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, I know. But right now we get the real joy of watching these 4 kittens just live a wonderful, happy life. They're very, very cute.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
But I got to go treat them. We got to go take care of them. So if you've got a final thought, last minute question, then let us know. Will, are you going to be on the show tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be on the show tomorrow morning, but I will have to leave at like 8:50.
Okay.
8:45.
Looking forward to tomorrow and the weekend beyond it. Has anything got your eye in crypto or otherwise that you're thinking about?
Dude, I mean, we just had NVIDIA come out, right? Markets seem to be not really
It's blue for a minute,
too shaken about that, right? But tomorrow we have our weekly jobs data. And ever since Jerome Powell spoke at Jackson Hole last Friday, and he said, what was the exact quote? I forget it was, but basically he was like, hey, we're really paying attention to the jobs market right now. Jobs data is really important. So we're really hoping for bad weekly jobs data on Thursday. We get it every Thursday, by the way. And even though those numbers, we're just like, these are going to change in like 3 weeks, right? So like, like we don't have too much faith, but it's what we have to work with, right? So we're hoping for bad jobs data because bad jobs data increases the odds of rate cuts. So that'll make the market happy. And then on Friday, we get PCE inflation data, which is the Fed's favorite inflation data metric. So we're just hoping for inflation. We're hoping for jobs data to be bad on Thursday, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but we do. And we're hoping for PCE inflation to just not be that hot. That's what we're hoping for.
Is this the PCE inflation to follow? I feel like is it usually this long after we get the other inflations?
I mean, it's only been a week.
I mean, I guess it seems like I thought it was 2 weeks.
No, it's been 1 week. Because we got CPI inflation last week, and then we got PPI inflation the week before. And now we have PCE inflation this week. Got it.
1 week.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought for some reason we got them both last 2 weeks ago.
No.
Time, man.
Time.
What the hell
like the beginning of this.
Right.
Time. It's so
We've really come full circle. Shout out to Jay Fillet, who sold his crow for 140% gain. Thanks, guys. Love it. Congratulations. Jacob Barnes wants to know, how much do the kittens eat? A lot. Amsfar says, I'm allergic to dogs, but I still train them. And Christina asked again for Sosana. Do you know what Sosana is? I thought she was typoing Solana.
No, I've heard it before, and I'm not sure.
Is it a meme token? Is it?
I can find out right now.
Is it a marketing stunt?
Also, I saw the comment from Traveler for Life that just said, time is soup. And I don't know why that really tickled me, but it's great. Time is soup.
Time is soup.
Will's an idiot. Got it. Yep, correct.
No, it's not. One of my favorite bits from my life is one time I was eating with my then girlfriend in a restaurant, and we overheard a couple. It was just like murmuring volume talking, and then out of nowhere, one of this like middle-aged woman who looked like to be her daughter said, "I just love soup." And it was loud and cut through the noise, and we both just busted out laughing. And
it's like, you're gonna be my new best friend. I do love soup.
I know. We said that all the time. We were like, oh my god. I was like, I love soup too. Soup is so good. It is so good. It's almost soup time.
Soup is so good.
Quantitative easing.
I'm pulling up Sosana right now.
Oh, okay. Good. Then take it. What does it look like? What does it do? Who is Sosana? Sosana sounds like if I was trying to break into the fashion industry and didn't want people to know if I was a man or a woman and whether I was like white or something else, I would be Sosana.
I have no idea. Its price is doing well on the 4-hour chart. I mean, its price is doing well, but I'm on CoinMarketCap and I have no idea what the hell this thing is.
Anybody in the comments? Bueller.
I got nothing.
While Will is clicking and clacking, I will stall and tell you, if you are here tomorrow, we will round out the week with one more Rise Up morning show. We're going to talk about a couple of other trending tokens. I want to talk about the Yeezy token. I want to talk about CR7. And maybe we'll talk more about Sosana, but we will definitely answer your crypto questions. 7 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, God. It's a Solana meme going.
It's got to be.
Sosana stands for Shiny Object Syndrome and Nothing Accomplished.
I like the acronym. Do we like the acronym? That seems about right.
Yeah, wait, hang on a second. This website's silly.
You gonna give me a little screen share?
Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
The only token you'll chase that admits you're chasing the wrong thing. Well, hey, at least they're not violating securities laws.
I love these guys.
Welcome to Sosana, the token that perfectly encapsulates the chaos of your crypto journey. You've been bouncing from launch to launch like a caffeinated kangaroo, hoping to strike it rich. Admit it, You're here because someone yelled 100x incoming and your FOMO radar went nuclear.
Love
You're
the
as busy as a
GPT
mosquito in a nudist colony. Too many targets, not enough time.
You've been Sosana'd if
You've bought into a token purely because it was shiny without asking a single question.
that one
Yeah.
was
Hey, these guys are having fun.
I think they
Sometimes
just
having
said
fun.
GPT said make a bunch of jokes that follow this prompt, which is honestly fine. This is last second we had. Did you ever see rugs.wtf?
Yeah.
And the website was like, it's a fucking rug. We know you crypto idiots love this shit. Buy our rugs. Pay the gas for it. Buy another one, you fucking moron. It was like, it was, that, but it was before GPT, so it was somebody had to write it.
Wait, this is actually really funny. Symptoms of being Sosana: a wallet full of regret and tokens no one has heard of. A strange sense of pride for being part of something this absurd. Yeah, Sosana's great. I'm a big fan.
Pump and dump proof. No white paper needed. Okay.
Nope. It's all vibes. It's all vibes, baby.
And on the way out the door, Will, PENGU, still looking good?
Let me see. Oh, also, by the way, Cosmic is totally right. The Russell 2000 looks phenomenal, and it broke a key line of resistance. Von and I put on the chart. So the Russell 2000, which is a risk-on measurement for the stock market, looks super strong right now, which is great. That should be good for our altcoins, and the Bitcoin dominance chart also looks pretty good. What was I looking up? I was looking up.
You were looking up PENGU.
PENGU.
While he does, Chris Moore says, what do you think the September dump will be caused by? And I'll say, I don't know. Maybe if we get
I don't know.
Wonder Woman
Maybe it won't.
rate cuts, maybe it won't. That was exactly
Yeah.
going to be my answer. Who says we got to have one?
Yeah, who says we have to have one? Who says anything will have to do anything? Oh, wait, no, that's Sosana again. I'm addicted. Yeah, PENGU. PENGU is currently being held down below the 55-day exponential moving average, this blue line. But let's take a look at the short-term time frame to see if we're likely to bounce above that. So, this little box here, that was my buy zone for PENGU, and it fell back into it, so I bought it. On the short-term time frame, this is the 8-hour chart. Stochastic RSI is oversold. The Moxie indicator is bearish still, and the 200 and the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average are all sitting right on top of a line of support. So 2.8, 2.9 cents is a strong potential area of support that could catch us. And the 12-week exponential moving average is also sitting pretty damn near close to that at 2.8 cents as well. So yeah, things are looking pretty okay. And then if you just look at this is a bull flag pattern that typically breaks to the upside. So if we're in a risk-on environment, we should expect that to break to the upside, but you never know. And the other thing too is, even though cup and handle patterns I feel like they tend to not really work out. This is also a cup and handle pattern. So if we were to break out from this point here, you'd be looking at a price target of 71 or 7.1 cents, which is more than a 100x move. And the breaking of this bull flag, well, should be something similar. Yeah, a target to 6.6 cents. So that's what you're looking at for PENGU. But all of that goes out the window if this white channel has a bearish break. So, that's what you're keeping your eyes on for PENGU. Yeah, that's it.
Bro said, we're looking at the 8-hour chart, so familiar, as if Doug hadn't just turned him into a maxi for it.
I know, he converted me to the 8-hour instead of the 4-hour.
Dude,
so
he would be so
why
proud
would I
of
look
you
at
you
the
said
4-hour for the short term when I can look at something that's twice as long-term time frame, but still short term? So it's just like, fuck, he was right. Whenever I ask Doug a question, and Doug, I hope you're watching this, and I'll tell him this in person, I get a little frustrated because I'm like, dude, why do you do it that way? And he's like, I don't know, man, vibes. And I'm like, God damn, son of a God, give me a reason. And then the thing is I'll go through all of my reasoning and I'll come to him and he'll be like, yeah, dude, see, it's that because the squiggly line goes there. And I'm just like, it's the same answer I got. How? How? But it's wonderful. There are so many different ways to skin this cat. But dude, you gotta go bathe and take care of some kittens, man.
I gotta go take care of some kittens. If you want to learn to do TA like Will, then check out Will's Intro to Technical Analysis course in the Circle community. And hey, quick note, because we haven't said it in a while, if you are interested in getting involved beyond the show, learning with us and all the wonderful people who tune in from around the world, the best place to be is the Rise Up community. It used to be on Discord. It is now on an app at a website called Circle. The URL is community.rumshq.com. But I always tell people, just remember rumshq.com. And if you're hanging out in the Discord and you're like, boy, it sure is quiet here, that's why, because we're trying to put all our cats and dogs and ponies and cows into the Circle community and spending our time there. Discord, it can be tough, but it's felt like home for us. So shout out to all the people who've made the migration. Shout out to all the people who are coming. And then to all the people who have yet to come, the many who've yet to join us, we can't wait to see you. Will, have you got a true final thought?
A second final thought?
Well, we get a final thought, and then we hear a question, and then, I always ask
my final thought is you got to go take care of some kittens.
I got to go take care of some kittens. And my final thought will be, let me play that Cats and Cow bumper one more time, because the kittens in my house really do sound like the kitten who says at the start of this clip.
Oh, that's nice.
They're very cute and very cuddly. We got to go. If we didn't answer your question, throw it in the Circle chat or bring it back to the show tomorrow. Thank you for being the very best part of what we do, my friends. Until then, everybody stay safe, be well, and until next time, rise up.